we can start.
Yep.
Sure.
Lata is still there in Trivandrum or
I am in Bangalore now. I came back on Saturday.
okay.
Okay, so today that Sloka is a very interesting one, 13th one. I think over the weekend Lata had some experience, so she can share that with relation to 13th verse. So it says, Arthasya Nishtayaha Dristaha Vicharena Hita Uktaha Na Snanena Na Danena Pranayama Shatena Saha. Shatena Saha. So, general opinion of everyone is that they go to Kumbh Mela, they go here, they go there, they go to Rameshwaram, and they visit Badri, Kedarnath, Char Dham Yatra, this and that one, temples, and different mosques, places of worship and churches and this and that. But none of that is going to help. Because there is no inquiry. So the wise, Vicharena Hita Uktaha, Uktitaha, that means one who says what needs to be done. If that person doesn't follow, meaning if he is not a yoga ruda, then it would be just going there and coming back. And there is no need of doing all of this, including pranayama. And people do a lot of things, like they believe that by doing pranayama they are going to get liberation. They are not going to get anything out of it. So the seeker should only do self-inquiry. He should not do any kind of rituals. If he or she is doing rituals, the first thing that's going to happen is it's going to create attachment, and then that person can never get anywhere near, because the anatma will get occupied and atma will not be there. The personality is the anatma, and the original atma is never seen. So then the tradition, beliefs, religion, all that will start. So he says that na snanena na danena pranayama shatena ba. That is, if somebody were to really jump into all of this, would not get anywhere near. So what we need to do, stop all of that, because it doesn't make any sense of visiting any pilgrimage spot or whatever it is, or going and jumping in different rivers thinking that this is Triveni, so it will take out my sin. I will jump into this water, or I will go to Bodh Gaya and or Gaya, and they talk about Gaya Shraddha, so I will go and do there. Then I will do Shraddha in Badri, and I'll do it in Rameshwaram, and I'll do here, there. All of that does not lead anywhere except for unlimited bondage, then nothing else. So the 14th verse, he says, Adhikarinam Ashaste Phala Siddhihi Visheshataha Upaya Deshakaladhyah Santyasmin Sahakarinaha. So the qualification, the primary qualification of the seeker is dependent on his spiritual endeavor, not religious endeavor. Other means like place and time, desha and kala, but they are not necessary. They are just a secondary attribute. They are not primary attribute. That means if I am looking at realization and liberation, the Desha Kala and all other ritualistic way, Ghalika, Gatika, then looking at the auspicious days of the week and nakshatra and this and that is not required. This is required only for those people who want to continue in the samsara. That makes sense. But for a person who has decided that he will go behind the truth, then this is not required. Yeah, but you have anything to add, a comment?
I think 14th, the Adhikarana is only for, this one is through Shat Sampatti, right? Shamadama.
Yes.
And Desha and Kala is, in this case, Desha and Kala is helping us because we have life.
Correct, but it is not an important factor.
And it is possible only in this life. That's the reason Desha and Kala.
Correct.
And we are moving from this Desha and Kala to above that, using Shamadamadi, Shat Sampatti.
Correct. So essentially,
This is for Adhikari for Atma Vidya, right?
this is, yes, Adhikara for Atma Vidya. See,
This is, I think this Vivekachudamani, from the beginning, it takes you completely away from your rituals.
Correct.
No rituals here.
no rituals, yes. No belief.
So in that case, when there is no ritual, why you need anything called after the death, even that first 11 days also? Not required. Because it is just separated, everything. Body is separated, Panchaprana,
Yes.
and all that.
In fact, that is not there in Vedas at all. In the first place, if you go through Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Samaveda, Atharva Veda, you will not find anything about Antyeshti is there, but Antyeshti afterwards, what should be done is not there.
No, once the Dahana is over, there is nothing is required because Panchabhuta Vilina is already happened.
Yes. So you don't have to do any ritual to give them something. That is the truth.
Atma, traveling, and all this unnecessary created by human being after that.
Yes, yes.
Not by that, not by those Maharshis.
Yes. So now the question is, why do we do it? It is because of Nama and Rupa. So maybe Lata can share her experience on that.
Yeah, that will be great.
Okay. So yesterday I was going through one of those videos of Vilas on this Buddhist teachings. One was related to this Nama and Rupa. And there were two more other videos I was watching about the six senses, and then one more about what was that about Anatta. Okay, so this I was doing that for the last 3-4 days, I guess, going through it. So yesterday I was going through this Nama and Rupa. So then while listening to that video, then I really understood what is meant by Jagat Mithya and Brahman Satya, what Shankaracharya always says. So I always used to wonder, the Jagat, whatever we see it, right? We see it, the people, the animals, everything we see. Yes, and all of us see. It is not that I see or you see. All of us see more or less the same thing physically. So then I was not understanding, how can that be Mithya? So even though intellectually you understand and you understand it as 5 elements and one consciousness and all that, but that is something intellectual. You have not really understood what that means. So while going through it, then really understood. And it is not something which came only yesterday suddenly, but then I was pondering over it for some time. So then, so if you really see, when I went home, my mother was not at home, right? So she was in the hospital. So, and what is that mother? Mother is a kind of feeling which is created in your mind, right? So when you see your mother, you have that, the rupa will create that feeling in your mind, and then you perceive her as your mother. And why do you feel bad? Actually, why do you feel, what do you say, when she is not there at home? See, I have never been to my home when my mother is not there. She has been always there. So she has been always there from my childhood. Whenever I went to school, she'll be, when I come back, she's there. And wherever I go outside and whenever I go, she's always there at home. It's the first time when I went, when my mother was not at home. Okay. So it should create some emotions in me. So I was just pondering over it, and then I realized that if you think back in your memories and ponder over it about the good times we had when she was there at home, is what will really create that sadness in you. So I was not allowing my mind to ponder over it, the past. So the real current situation is that when I went home, only my father was there at home. My mother was not there. So I was not thinking and pondering over what happened in the past. I was not allowing my mind to go there. So then there was no sorrow and there was no sadness. It is my real experience I am sharing. So I was just wondering, what is that? Is it because that I don't like my mother anymore? I don't love her or whatever? So it's not that. That's not the case. When she came back, I really enjoyed her presence as well. So this experience, whichever I was observing, plus the watching those videos, then really made me understand what these statements all mean. That you are creating a world within your mind, actually. So the people are there. So all those people you see are there physically. They are the physical form you see is made up of 5 elements that we all know. But the other things which we create in the mind, like your relationships, the association, like you are naming somebody as your mother, somebody as your father and daughter or whatever, or the place Trivandrum or the place Bangalore, it's all created in your mind. So it is that feeling which you create from your childhood. It has been told, this is your mother, this is your father, and it has been, and that feeling has been created in your mind. So moment you see the form, that the feeling is what is getting associated with, then you immediately feel that it is your mother. But in the real sense, if you are able to take control of that feeling and that perception, then there won't be any relationships actually. And then it made sense to me that whatever Shankaracharya said is correct. Jagat Nitya, Brahman Satya. Right. So when I went to my home also, I could feel that presence of Brahman, because I already had that one experience of the self. So I know that I didn't feel, what do you say, alone or insecure in any way in that sense. So I don't know whether you are following what I'm trying to say. So it is like, so it made sense to me always. Vilas talks about this fabrication of the mind and the conceptualization and so on. So that really made sense for me. So now I can say confidently that I really understand what it means by Jagat Mithya. It is what you create in your mind. So you see things as is. So you see anybody, your daughter or your anything, or the building, the office, the organization, everything. You see those physical things. But then whatever you construct in your mind on top of it is what is Mithya. And so if you are able to understand that and ponder over it, that is when you really try to unwind your mind. And that's the reason I think if you are able to get to this then all other things will not make any sense. All these rituals and whatever we do, going for temples and doing many things, all those doesn't make any sense. So this is what you really have to do to get to that liberated state. So you need to understand it, and then you will have to observe it, and then once you observe it, it will kind of drop away. And then your mind will become peaceful and tranquil, and you will not feel agitated and worrying and wonder why this is happening and that's happening and so on. So this is something which I've been pondering over when I was in Trivandrum full time, and in between I had to also take my father to the hospital 2 times. And one time I was sitting outside. That's one day I have sent a message telling that I will not join. And I was sitting outside that emergency room, and then that's when Vilas was texting me. And then when I was sitting there, I was not at all feeling anxious or worried. So I was just doing whatever is needed to be done at that point of time. So this is my experience.
Excellent, Lata. Today, I think you are a realized person. That much I can say. I can't say you are a liberated as yet, but 100% it is confirmed that you are realized.
Yeah, of course I am not liberated.
Yeah, but you are now a realized person. You have realized the truth. That means you have seen the mithya.
Yeah, that's true. Yes.
So that is all what is required anyway to understand.
And I have a great feeling that I should also bring my parents to this state, but then I don't think it is possible right now.
Okay. Yeah, but you
That
wanted
means you have moved completely away from perceptive world. There is no world for you during that stage, right? It's only present.
Yeah, it is only
you are there, because no
Correct.
memory, nothing. In the present, there is nothing to feel good or bad. It is just you are dealing with that.
Correct. So there is no present and no future. If you try to
Present is
not
there.
present, not
I think you are
past,
very much in the present, right?
right. So past or future. If you ponder over the past or you ponder over the future, then the mind will get agitated.
Okay. Now one question here is: no past, no future. Then you are in the present. In your mind, what used to happen?
My mind, I just do whatever is needed. That's it. There is nothing, no other thoughts. Because anyway, at that time,
By default, it will keep going into Lochana Lahari. That means one after another, some thoughts keep coming. What was that? What as a thought there? No thoughts?
There was no thoughts. It is like there was no time to have any thoughts. Actually, when I was sitting outside that emergency room, my sister was with my mother in the hospital, some other hospital actually. And my brother is in the US, and we have come to the hospital. So I have to keep updating them what's happening. Okay. So I've been telling there is nothing wrong with him. So he seems to be anxious and tensed, and that's all. So I've been writing all that. So to both of them. So there was no time to even think. So there was there was no such kind of thoughts in my mind at all.
Were you on meditation? Is my question during that time.
No, I
In
don't
between,
think
free time you had in between.
Yeah. So I was just observing what's happening, and I was observing what my father's reaction is, what my sister's reaction is, what my brother's reaction is. So if I look at my brother, he was so calm and cool, and he was trying to do whatever support he can do from there via his friends. Okay, my sister is completely shattered and broken, but still she is taking care. And my father. He says that he has very very strong mind and so on. But I could also see that he is a bit anxious. But he can come back. He will, at that moment, he will become anxious and tense, and then later on he will adjust and come back. So that way, actually, I think when they took my mother to hospital, she was almost unresponsive. So that time he was calming down my sister. So I was observing all that, and then I keep observing all the surroundings, what's happening.
Okay. But it is observation then. Observation is meditation only.
Yeah, and my mother, she doesn't care anything at all. She still thinks that there's nothing wrong with her. There was no need to go to the hospital. She even today also she thinks like that. And I can say she's very tired, but then still she says, I'm very fine, I'm okay. So there's no, what do you say, any kind of
real-time test of spirituality.
Yeah, it's a real-time test, because this is the time you will feel really, I can still remember in 2019 when my father had an heart attack. So that time for first 15-20 minutes I did really panic. I was not able to do anything, and then until that some voice told me that nothing is going to happen. Until that time, it was kind of flattering. But then, when the call came at around, actually they were trying to call me from 1:30. For some reason, my phone was in do not disturb mode. So I got the call only after 45 minutes probably. But still, I got the call and I did not feel anxious or worried. So my thought was how to get there to support. That was my thought. It was a real-time test for me, actually, to see where I am, whether whatever I am doing is making any real impact in my mind, or it is only that I am just scratching the surface. So this was a real test for me.
Very good.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah. But still, in spite of all that, I was also thinking that I should keep visiting to my parents' place as every now and then I should go and stay there for 1 week and come. And that's what I'm thinking. So still I will do that support, what is needed. And they also know, my parents also know that I am in this path, and they know that we are having these discussions and so on. So all that they also know I am in this kind of thing. My sister also knows, my brother also knows.
Good, very nice. I mean, if we are able to understand the nama and rupa, in fact, there is no rupa at all. We only put the nama. And that is the most easiest to remove. If there was really a rupa, it would have been very difficult to remove. Like, so let's say Bhatt is a father, also is a brother, also he is a husband. If 3 people were to be there instead of Bhatt, because each role one person comes in, it would have been such a mess. So it is only the nama which is there. There is absolutely no rupa except for 5 elements. So that mind is able to connect or feel through the feeling that this is me and this is my wife or husband or whatever it is, because that is just a name. There is no form coming. See, if I call my wife, the same body which was a mother to my son will walk, but I will not see a wife coming at all. Till now I have not seen, and I am 100% sure that I will not be seeing the wife at all. So who is dying is the mithya is dying. That's all. So if we can realize that, I think we have done what we are supposed to do. Good, Lata. I appreciate your perseverance, and you got through what you wanted. So it's nice.
Yep.
Yeah, Padma Shri, any comment from you?
No, actually, Lata has really undergone that that here now and not thinking about the future or even the present also. What next? She's waiting, meaning she's ready for everything. That feeling is she has experienced. That is very nice.
Yeah. Good one. So if we are able to move out of nama and rupa, you will realize the truth. So that's the when you will see Jagat Mithya. And going forward from there, you will see that you are indeed Brahman. There is no other Brahman there to marry you. Meaning the mind will give up. Because
Yeah, I'm waiting for that.
yeah, it will happen. And this has happened, that also will happen, Lata. It is not that you have to become now desperate. You take it cool. It is like, you should have a ticket and you got the ticket.
Yeah.
So now you can look at what is happening. Meaning, now you can see everything in that light. See, when you go to office or when the next office meeting starts, it's only the sound which is coming. There is no person there. That is again nama. Project is a name. The person who is speaking is a name. And what he is speaking is a sound. And you are making whatever you want to make out of that sound because you have learned the language. So basically you will find only nama. The rupa is imagined because there is no rupa. The office is just a building, but just because it has the three colorful alphabets broken down in red and it says ABB, so it makes the mind feel that you are working for ABB even though you are just entering into a building. You are not really entering into ABB. You will never find ABB anywhere except on the building and on the documents and on the tag what we have and all that, but definitely speaking you will not find the company. Even if you search, you will not find.
Yeah, so you have explained this many times, Vilas, but still, even those times, how many number of times you explained, I have not understood.
Yes, today you understood it.
Yeah, some yesterday, day before, last few days I understood. But then how much you have to realize for yourself. So
Yes.
how much ever you explain, you will not understand, really.
Yes, that is correct. I am happy that you ultimately picked up and that happened due to that awareness meditation working for you. Otherwise that wouldn't have happened. If that day, that Saturday, if you had not picked it up,
Yeah, correct.
it wouldn't have happened. Even today, you would have agreed that yes, it makes sense, but I am not able to experience.
Yeah, that's true. That was a turning point for me, actually.
Yeah, that will be a turning point for everyone. Whenever they experience that.
Yeah.
And then only you'll see that you are not walking in any room. Only the body is walking. A body is going rather. You are not walking. You are not talking. You are not eating. It's all not there.
Yeah, but it is so simple. I am blown away by the simplicity of it. And still, we are not able to find it so easily.
Yes. And because it is too simple.
Correct.
So,
In fact, it has helped a lot, Lata, to handle that emergency in a much meaningful way. The spiritual approach.
Yes. That's true. That is definitely true. Otherwise, I would have panicked.
So if I think of something similar, my situation there, generally this is a panic situation. That too, just a sister taking care and I'm away and helpless kind of situation. But the spirituality, there is no any bad feeling, nowhere. It's always the action, what I'm supposed to do with the available time, that just done. No complications. And remaining let go, nature will take care. Vilas, here, is there something called nature in this case?
everything is nature only.
Let go means here, what best we can do, we'll do it with the full, completely involvement, dedication, spirituality. But there is something not in our hand. It's only on karma based, or it's also there's something called nature here for others. Now, what is this nature and what is karma? Lata's angle fully understood here. Okay, and I'm talking from other three: her sister, parents, and then something called nature.
No, the first let us, we have to see that it is moha which is not making them see the reality. It is not the nature. Nature is same for everyone. Nature doesn't have any duplicity. It doesn't have a duplicate thing. It is just what it is. See, sunlight is sunlight. There is no distinction between my sunlight and your sunlight. It is just sunlight. But the delusion, moha, will make you believe that it is for you. The sun is for you. Just like we grow plant in our home, it becomes my plant because of delusion. But plant is a plant. Whether you grow it outside, you grow it inside, it doesn't really matter. But the moment the person buys a plant and or a seed and puts it in the mud, and he feels or she feels that it is my plant, it is my pot, right? So that is the karma. The my is the karma. If you don't have that my or me or mine, then there is no karma at all. It's as simple as that, because you never own it in the first place. So where is the question? See, just because a piece of land is given to me, it can't become my property. And what I have been given is a paper. There is no land given to me. It's just a paper. And the paper has some printing. The ink is not me. Okay, just because I'm able to read it and that is printed and it says sale deed, and then there is some meaning provided to it, and now I take it as my property, it is karma. It is because of my good karma I got this property, otherwise I wouldn't have got the property, is what the mind will pick up. But if you look from consciousness, there is nothing like that. So the Brahman is least bothered about whether you have a piece of land or no piece of land, whether you have a 6-bedroom home or a 1-bedroom home. It doesn't really matter for Brahman as such. But for the mind it matters, because mind goes by feeling and imagination, which is perception. So when something is perceived, that becomes karma. When that very thing is not perceived, it becomes karya. But nature remains the same. It doesn't change, because now, like in the case of Lata, the nature has remained the same. That is, when old age comes, there would be a lot of disturbances of the body. That has remained the same. Just like a plant becoming a tree, and the tree gets aged and then it starts to dwindle. Same thing is a case of human. So there is no distinction between a tree and a human being or any other animal. But the mind has the name. So it gets agitated when it sees that it is not working. So nature has got nothing to do with what the mind thinks. And consciousness also has got nothing to do with what mind thinks. But the mind only thinks. That is the problem. Did I answer?
Here, yeah, correct. Here, let go means there's nothing in mind, because it's all something, sound, touch, feel, and all those things. Panchabhutas. It's nothing. It is nothing to do with me. It is Panchabhuta in its original form. Let go means allow Panchabhuta to just take its own what you call rupa and nama, and we don't care.
No. Let go is let go it from the mind. Let go.
See, as a prakriti, something is keep happening. You can say sun, the earth is rotating, and all that happens.
Correct.
That happens. That is the truth. That's the truth, right?
Yes, that is the truth.
That's the truth, because it happens. Yeah, Prakriti is continuously acting, but mind is not now sensitive to that. Mind will have zero what you call influence because of that. Because it will not think anything about that which is changing. That means when it is zero, you're not even thinking. No perception. It's just zero. For you, it is shunya.
No, that is correct. See, the thing is like this. Letting go means letting go of nama and rupa in the mind.
Yeah, I'm talking about the same thing. Nama and rupa is coming from Prakriti, right?
No. Nama and rupa is coming from you. You as a mind. It is not coming from Prakriti.
That's about the Prakriti, right?
No. Prakriti is only 5 element. There is nothing naming of that 5 element. That is named by you. And the life what is come.
Now what you are telling is, see that as Prakriti.
Yes.
And don't give Nama and Rupa. That's what you are telling. Correct?
Yes. That is
That is Mula Prakriti. You look at as 5 basic elements.
Yes.
And don't give any Nama and Rupa to that, because out of that, what is found so-called human being, that is called Nama and Rupa, or tree, or some another animal and all that. But you say that don't look that as that Nama and Rupa, look as a Mula Prakriti only. Then it is meditation.
Yes.
That means you are in the present, what you call, you are watching that.
Yes.
Observing.
Just observing. See, when
Yeah, and also the mind, when that mind of other person, when it works, also it's observation only.
yes,
So when doctor comes and out of that room, he can give any message, neutral or positive or negative.
correct.
But here, nothing called for you positive or negative. Whatever he gives, he just gives like sound and then some vision for you, because he is at distance, that doctor.
No, first and foremost, there is no doctor in your mind. First thing. See, how do you know he's a doctor? Because he's wearing a white overcoat, and he is having that stethoscope, and then the smell of the hospital, because it is written hospital. So now the smell makes you feel that you are in hospital. It's all you're feeling.
Correct.
Reality is what? It is just a building.
Yes.
There's no hospital. There's just a building. And the person who has gone inside can be called as wife, can be called as son, can be called as daughter, can be called as brother, can be called as friend, can be called as whatever. This is all calling. You're calling them, but they really don't exist that way. That is just a material which has gone inside and it is not working, so it has to be corrected. So the only thing which is going to happen to them is that they are going to encounter pain, body pain only. That is all what they are going to encounter. Okay, even if I am that person, like instead of Lata's father, it was me who has gone there, it would have been the same. Or if Lata herself was there in that room, it would be exactly the same. Meaning,
Okay, one point here. The pain is again in the mind.
no. Pain is real.
Question of pain is for that particular person. If he's a truly spiritual person, there is nothing called pain, right? It's again.
No, there is nothing called
Is it a
mental
perception in the mind?
No. The pain,
No, the pain is very real, but
it is real.
Pain is real.
Pain is real.
pain is very real. But what happens is when you have a pain, you add in your mind, oh, my back is paining, my hand is paining. Then that trauma will get increased.
Yes.
But then if you consider it as a pain, the pain will be there and you will feel the pain. No doubt. Whatever, whether you are realized, you are liberated, you will still feel the pain. But then you will not suffer in your mind. And that's what creates a bigger problem actually.
See, but the problem is not on the
Pain
fever.
is real. Okay.
Pain is real. See, just take this scenario. Fever is real. The body is getting heated up is real. The body is aching is real. All of that is real. What is unreal? COVID-19 is unreal.
It's a nama.
It's a nama. Where is the rupa? Where is the associated rupa of that?
Invisible.
It's not there. So the fabrication is in the mind. So my mind says that I have got contacted with COVID because it is said to be so. How do you know? It's a report which says that you are COVID positive. But are you sure that you have got COVID? No. You got fever. That is true. Jwara is real because it hits you up, and that's called jwara. That is real. But this COVID is what kills you because it's in your mind. And you
Created, yes.
And you want to get rid of it. See, generally you get fever. Now you got fever. Which virus brought you that fever? Doesn't matter. You got fever. That is real. Now you have to take some medication to make that fever reduce. That is real. But the mental agony what one undergoes, if you have seen, but I think you would agree with me, most of the people who have rushed into the hospital have gone out of panic, not because of physically anything was happening to them. Meaning the oxygen reduction has happened due to panic attack, not because of the virus itself. Maybe, I don't know, ABB doctors would have also updated in that way, I guess. Because most of the people they get into panic mode the moment they are said that they're having fever of COVID.
Yeah. So many people, I think, this so-called COVID has created a problem in so many people's mind. I think some people who lost their life also could be because of one factor is panic.
Yes.
Major factor.
That one is the mental creation. It's not the jwara is not going to have an issue. Like Lata's father, he went into the hospital. Now, if a normal person is there, her heart will pace because she fears whether what is going to happen to her father. Because there is a concept of father. It's a concept. It's not real. Anything called as father. Okay, it's a concept. Now you are getting agitated, worried, worked up, panic, all of that due to that concept. Not there was a father out there or mother out there. But if you consider everything as you, then the panic is not there. Because you'll see only the nature, prakriti. That is 5 element, and the 5 element has some problem, so it goes inside, and that other 5 element will try to rectify this 5 element. If it can rectify that 5 element, it is good. If that 5 element cannot be rectified, then it is declared as dead. That means the consciousness has gone away. You just throw that and come out. That's all. Finish. So this aspect is called realization. You realize that there is only nama. There is no rupa out there. See, your daughter is in America. America is a nama. Show me the rupa of America. You will show some land and say that is called America. But show me the rupa of America. Not there. You show me California. It's not there. You show me Los Angeles. You'll not find it. You'll show me, you'll see some avenue and boulevard and this and that. But where is that place? It's not there. You look at Bangalore. Where is Bangalore? Then we will say Majestic is Bangalore. Okay, now you stand in Majestic. It says it's part of Bangalore. But where is Bangalore? Anju, by the way, Lata got realized.
Oh, I
So my wife has come, so I'm just sharing. So,
Okay.
yeah, because she has become your fan. Because after you finish speaking, she keeps on talking to me.
Okay.
So you have one follower.
Great achievement.
Thank you. With Vilas help actually.
So the thing is, but the where is you look at nature, mud is real, right? Land is real, but is the name real? Is Bangalore real?
Yeah,
It's a concept. Now
correct.
now this concept who started? So we'll say Kempegowda started. So he named it as Benda Kaluru. That is one who can bake his beans. Okay. Now that was a land. And that land was given to him as a Palegara. So he named it. So now you tell me, what was Bangalore earlier before to Kempegowda naming it? It was not there. So you will never find any place. So this is what we need to see. So you'll never find a daughter, you'll never find a son, you'll never find a mother, you'll never find a father, you'll never find a sister, you'll never find anyone. Except for 5 elements, you'll never find anyone.
So taste, smell, sight, and all those things, they are real, right?
That is real.
Yes.
No, that is real. Senses are real. See, sense is real.
Sense is a real, perception is a perception.
Yes. Sense perception. See, I'll tell you what.
That means the problem is the mind. Mind is unnecessarily we are using for perception.
Yes.
Mind should not be used for perception. Then
No.
for what purpose mind should be used?
My mind shouldn't be used at all, and that is called as liberation.
Okay, then the purpose of giving mind is only for this prarabdha. You have to go through the pain. Prarabdha means pain, right? Pain or anything.
No. No,
Go
no.
through that. What is the
Yeah.
purpose of designing this so-called mind?
The mind is created by you, which is consciousness. So as long as mind,
I have a special capacity to create mind.
which you have created,
It was not that it's created by me and I have to kill it.
yes, and that is what Lata has done right now by looking at her father and mother and getting out of the Nama and Rupa.
Okay, the mind is traveled from previous janma to this janma. And I have understood this mind when I really came to the age of maybe after, because till then my memory is not strong. The maturity slowly starts after the age of 4, 5. Then I start remembering. So that is the time I am creating this mind, right?
No, from your inception, that is from entry into the womb, only consciousness follows. The mind is there, but it takes time for mind to get matured from there. So what does the mind consist? So let us be very clear. So manas, buddhi, ahankara, chitta, if we were to take all of that 4, it has senses, 5 senses. Okay, eye, ear, nose, tongue, and skin. Okay. Now, why are you taking birth? Or what are you taking birth? The 5 senses are taking birth. Number 1. Not you are taking birth. The 5 senses are taking birth. Now, who understands the 5 senses? The mind understands the 5 senses. Because that is called 6th sense. Which is what even Krishna says in the 15th chapter. Mana Indriya. It itself is its own faculty or its own indriya or a sense organ itself, right? Now what does the mind do? Mind has a feeling, and in Kannada, if I were to use, it is called anasike. Okay, that is exactly what feeling is. I feel she is my wife. That feeling, right? That is what mind is. I feel she is my mother. That's just a feeling. There is no real mother out there. A woman has been named that she is your mother. It's the feeling. And what do you perceive? Mother. But what is that lady standing? She's not mother, because she is a wife of somebody. You treat that woman as your mother, which is false, because then a mother body has to come. if there was a mother. So a wife body has to come, a mother body has to come, a sister body has to come, a neighbor body has to come. It was real. And this is the Jagat. Okay, now because I didn't know even in my past life that this is Mithya, the mind has pulled the consciousness into this life because it has 5 senses. So it sensed whatever it wanted to sense. So you have 5 senses plus 1 sense, 6 sense plus 1 consciousness and 5 elements. So this is what you and me and all the people and animal and everything are. If you cut Nama and Rupa, it goes to the basic thing. What is the basic? You and that mother are the same. Right or wrong? You are naming somebody of the body. See, now this we both are there, and there is one another Jivi who is born. Okay, just like we are born, he is also born. But the madness here is that Jivi has his own karma and he has his own impressions, vasana. He has his own samskara for what he is born. I will forget all about that and I will say he is my son. Isn't it stupid? He is no son of mine. On a transactional note, or just a transaction, I can say he's my son. But really, is he my son? In what way is he my son? Body. That's the only way he is my son. Otherwise, from consciousness, is there a son? No. My consciousness and his consciousness, they both are same. My mind and his mind are different. Meaning, my feeling and my perception is different than his feeling and his perception. And hence it can recognize as a son and as a father. But from consciousness perspective, if you see, there is no son, there is no father. If consciousness were to depart, the father is dead. If the consciousness were to depart from his body, the son is dead. And in the first place, there was no son and the father. So who is dead? Nobody is born and nobody is dying. That's all what reality is. Did I confuse you more?
Yeah. No. I got more and more clarity. When Lata has explained, I have understood intellectually. But I had, that let go kind of that clarification. I think I am clear now.
Yeah. So letting go is not considering anybody as your daughter or brother or sister or friend or uncle, aunt, son, all that. Not to consider. You are considering, really you should not consider.
Yeah, it's exactly what you're telling is nirvana should come. Same thing.
Yes.
It's nothing. No buddhi ahankara chitta. No shatra jihva, na grana netra.
Yes.
No vyoma bhumi, na tejo na vayu.
Actually, the Sushma Sarira. So it was there, I don't know when it started, endless. It would have beginningless, not endless, beginningless. So you don't know who is the father and mother of that subtle body, right?
Correct.
So only this physical body, you have this current parents or current sister, brother and all. But the real Sushma Sharira has no father, no friend, no, like what Shankaracharya says in Nirvana Shatakam.
Yes, so it is just light. We are naming light as mother, we are naming light as father, we are naming light as wife, naming light as mother-in-law, father-in-law, this law, that law. When the light goes away, the body falls down. That's all.
Yes.
You throw the body out. Why are you crying over it? Just throw the body out. You want to burn it? Burn it. You want to dig it? Dig it. You want to throw it to vultures? Throw it to vultures. Simple. What is there to sit and cry?
So body brings that paridhi, right? You are within that, but actually you are sarvendriyatita sarvatra. That
Yes.
means you are above sarvendriya and you are there everywhere.
You are everywhere. See, I am you. I am Lata. I am Padma Shri. I am myself my mother-in-law. I am myself my wife. And I am myself my son. Right now, as we speak. So who is dying?
When
Nobody.
you are there everywhere, there is no death.
There is no death and there is no birth also. See, there is no birth and there is no death. The birth and death is in the mind. They are not.
No birth, no death. Understanding is realization, right?
Yes, understanding like what Lata has got today, that one is realization. That is no Nama and Rupa is realization. The liberation is you let go of that also.
Yes.
That you have realized. That also you let it go, then you are liberated. Then you are not going to come back at all. If I feel I am realized, the still feeling is there and still perception is there. That means I am a realized being. I am going to come back to some level. Say maybe I will be born as a Brahma. But I am going to be born for sure.
Yeah.
Now I don't want to be born as Brahma also. Okay. Now what I should do? Drop this realization also. So now what Lata has to do is to drop this realization. Now she's
Maybe we
realized.
can continue tomorrow that part.
Yeah, sure. We'll do that.
It's 9:30. I have another meeting.
Yeah. Even Padma Shri left, so we can continue tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow we can continue that
Okay.
part.
Thank you, Lata,
Interesting.
for sharing.
Yeah. Thanks, Lata, for sharing.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Super.
Super.